What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the War Table Podcast. It's been a while. I'm your host, Dad of War, aka O'Neal Johnson. If you want my real name, with me as always is my good friend, Kwai Boy Girl. How are you?
Hola, I'm doing great today.
Good, good. As I said, we've been gone for a while yet again, and I said we were going to really try not to, but you, as I always say, life fucking happens. Shit comes up, and we got super busy, super tired, and just things got crazy there for a while, but things have seemed to calm down for now, and we're back. So, we're going to start off as we always do with how have you been and what have you been playing?
So I was hoping to get this. This has been this how what am I playing would have been a whole lot funnier if I did it before Mass Effect Legendary Edition was released. So I'll just talk about it more. I had a bunch of jokes, but uh, so obviously I've been playing Legendary Mass Effect Edition. Uh, just to get that out there. But one thing I always notice is that I always, on that game, I was like, I'm gonna pick a male character. I'm not gonna make the same decisions I always do. And then I started the game and I made the same female character I always do, making the same good choices I always do. But, you know, but before it came out, there's a game I really wanted to play, and I have been playing because in like the world of the Mass Effects, where I'm always being the good guy and making the good decisions, I wanted to play a game where you can't always make a good decision. Sometimes you have to be the bad guy, whether you like it or not. So I've been playing Tyranny, which made by Obsidian, published by Paradox. Uh, Probably the best RPG I've played in recent years. It is so good. I
Basic premise because I've never heard of it.
One second. So like uh so like the main big bad guy has all about taking over the world, and you're an arbiter of law under him.
Okay. Medieval science fiction.
It's like fantasy.
Yeah, it's high
So
fantasy.
like magic and shit.
Okay. Interesting enough. Sounds like a decent
But yeah.
concept.
So like it's basically you're in a world where the bad guy has basically already won,
Hmm.
and it's just like crushing little resistance here and there. Like I made choices trying to be the good guy. Like I still have to like bring these people, like certain people in, but I could be like, if you just come with me, I'll, spare the entire town and stuff like that. Like you're not necessarily a bad guy, but
You
it's
have to
just
make
kind
the
of
hard
doing what you can
choices.
to survive and like a world where the bad guy already won.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Not bad.
And that's about as interesting as I think an RPG can really get. Because usually you're just always the good guy, good decisions, and in Mass Effect you could be a good guy, or you could just be like an asshole, but you're still a good guy.
Yeah. The Renegade's just
Like,
more like you feel
sure,
like being a
you
dick.
punched a reporter in every single game, but you're still saving the world. So like,
Yeah.
it's nice when the decisions are more like nuanced or some shit.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice when they operate in that gray area. Like it's either black or white for most games. Infamous, Bioshock, fucking damn near anything that has a single choice. Knights of the
I
Old
don't know,
Republic.
like with BioShock. Like the literal only option in my head were to save the little sisters because you literally just get more out of it. Like I never thought, oh yeah, I'll harvest them and do the bad thing, but you because like you just get less out of it.
Do you? I thought you got more of
You
a
like
certain thing.
overall you get less.
No, fair enough.
It's just because games like BioShock, it you can't. The same is just like why I don't like it as much as Tyranny, because you can be the bad guy in like those situations. You just get punished for it, while there is no real like there's punish there's the big fucking faction system and shit. It's Obsidian. They're pretty good at RPGs if you ignore Outer Worlds.
Which most would disagree, but still.
Outer
Uh,
Worlds was only good because the only notable RPGs that came out were like fucking Fallout 4 and like Fallout 76. Like a 6 out of 10 is gonna be a lot better than like two out of 10s.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Uh, what else you been playing? I know you've been doing a bunch of
So
Binding of
I
Isaac.
yeah, I beat Repentance, which is nice. So I'm deciding if I want to beat it on the next two save files to get the super special thing, or like not.
It's super
But I
special.
probably just like stick to what I did. I copied the save file over eh, to the other two so I could get like the thing unless I stop playing. And I'm wondering if I just want to like delete those and actually do them legit. But I just wanted to see like the full artwork and shit.
Oh, very well, very well.
I also played a little bit of like 30 minutes to Enter the Gungeon. Got like past the second boss and like died in my first run. It was the fucking bird with the minigun and then the bullet anaconda thing. And then I died like right after
Amoconda.
on yeah. Then I died right after on the third floor.
Fair enough. I love that game. I need to get back
Uh,
into it. Just 'cause I'm so
see,
close
did
to
a
the
little bit
plat.
of synthetic, which I think is the hardest roguelike I've ever played.
Never even heard of it.
I'll send you a video on it. It's fucking it's intense. But besides that, I've been grinding out Call of Duty. I've been questioning my mental state every time we get on Smite, and I think that's about it.
Okay.
I really haven't played that much past that.
Very well, very well. I mean,
Besides, like my new Cyberpunk save, I did a little bit more on that, but not a whole lot. But I accidentally saved over like my end game character, so I just deleted all my other saves to be like, I guess this is my character now. So
mm, I made my bed, so now I need to lay in it.
yeah, I said fuck it. When if they release the DLC, I'll start like grinding fucking Cyberpunk again to like get to it.
In your honest
But
opinion, I've been meaning to ask since you did do the new save. Is it better? Because I haven't
it
played at all since
it's
nothing.
so it's actually handling a lot better. I haven't gotten any crashes, not like a whole lot of visual bugs.
Okay.
Uh, so it's been working a lot better than it used to, but it's still not like I'm still not gonna say like it's a perfect game because there still could be shit I haven't
Oh,
noticed yet because I'm not even out of chapter one.
yeah. I never expected a game, especially of that size and scope, to ever not have bugs. Like, look, we're going on almost 10 years of GTA, and that game still bugs out quite a bit. You know, like you can't patch it. Like,
I still think the statement here is we're going on fucking 10 years of GTA 5.
yeah, that's a crazy
Really
one to think
crazy.
about. But yeah, for me, speaking of GTA 5, I've hopped in and been doing a lot of GTA 5 with my younger brother Manny and Try and Jim. We've been doing heists, actual heists, like what you're meant to do in the game, not just run around and smashing into each other. And when someone shoots us, go into a gang war in the middle of the street. Because I'm petty, I don't play it. Not petty, I'm pathetic in that game. Like, I don't play it like that. I get in, I do a few missions with my brother, have some fun. I really like just going in there, modding cars and driving them because I just like the cars in the game. That's what I do. So when someone rolls up on me, I'm level 70 casually, and they're like level 370 with armor piercing flame bullets that literally one shot me at full health and full armor. And I'm like, I get that they kill me 13 times for every time I can kill them once. So, not gonna lie, my brother, man, just comes through and manhandle shit because for a while, he's not as bad anymore, but he was heavy into GTA. He has all that same shit. He has all the
I've been
tanks.
watching these like GTA 5 TikTok videos where a group of people are dressed up as red coats with like the fucking muskets and they're fucking pulling up on people and fucking assassinating them with muskets.
That's sounds fantastic and yet terrible because I know at some point it's going to happen to me. But we've been doing a lot of GTA. It's been quite a bit of fun. Other than GTA, I'll go through the same old, same old. Call of Duty with you and my wife, trying to get my guns diamond. Sometimes it's fun, other times it's fuck you, Call of Duty. A bunch of Smite. Heavy back into that now because the Boo Boo Battle Pass that I didn't give a shit about is gone. Now the new one's in, and I really, really like all the skins that are a part of it. Apex Season 9 dropped, I believe, since the last time we talked. I don't think I got to talk about this at all. New Legend is fantastic. The little changes to the map that I think it's Olympus that got changed. It's alright. I don't ever really see it because I mostly just play ranked, and ranked is on Kings Canyon, not Kings Canyon, but the secondary map. I forget its name. Not Kings Canyon and not the newest new one. It was the second map they put out. Whatever. That was a bunch of fun, but the big ticket there is arenas, which I very, very much like. They stole it from CSGO and Valorant and all those games.
Oh yeah, I saw that 3v3 shit.
Yeah, there's no third. This is why I like it, because it's really just who has the better team, not who gets a bit of damage on you and then gets, third partied from the back. It's either you're going to take that team or they're going to take you. So you start off with a set amount of points. The very first one, you get like 500, so you can literally buy a single gun with no attachments. The next one, you get 1,000, so you can buy that same gun and upgrade it once or twice to give it better attachments, or upgrade it once and buy a good secondary, and so on and so forth. First team to beat the other team by 2 wins. So if you beat them 3 times in a row, you win because you have to beat them by 2. So that first win doesn't technically count. It's the next 2 you have to get. So it's 1-1. Then you still have to get to 3. Like, you have to win those next 2. And if you keep going, the max you can get is to 9. So if
My
each
cat
one
just
of you
fucking headbutted a door.
ridiculous. So if you get to the 8th round, you're tied all the way up. It gives you the tiebreaker match, winner take all. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, if you like Apex and you're tired of getting third party, this is the mode for you. Pick I almost said God, the legend you like, and hopefully get some squad mates who are the same mindset as you. Because I find that I'm very aggressive depending on the map, and then when I get very defensive teammates, I end up fucking them over because I'm like, no, I got it. They get like 2 shots, I fly over there, down 2, and then I get killed, but my teammates didn't follow me, so their guys just get rezzed, heal up, and then it's a 3v2 because they play passively and I don't. But I digress. Really, very much enjoying Apex. It's can't beat it for free. I mean, that's, I think,
See,
the big reason
I
I
actually
play
might
Smite.
re-download Apex for that because I've always wanted to do CS:GO, but with a fucking controller because I don't like doing mouse and keyboard.
I'm telling you, I'm down most of the time. I very much enjoy it. Probably is my second favorite free-to-play game next to Smite. But
I still can't believe you made me download fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! And we didn't play it like yesterday.
oh, don't worry, we'll be playing it later for sure. But speaking of that, for the first time in, I can't say a long time, between now actually and the last podcast, I did hop onto Yu-Gi-Oh for like 2 days when Utopia got a little bit of support, and Utopia is one of my favorite decks, so they got new support. I checked them out, had a lot of fun for 2 days, and it was like, all right, I'm over it again. And then literally middle of last week, they dropped more support for Utopia, so I've hopped back in it for the last few days. Um, Obviously, if you're new here, I'm not even sure if I've even said this on the podcast. My whole damn near my whole streaming career began with Yu-Gi-Oh for the most part. Like I started off streaming other little games, but what got me the most attention, and basically still to this point, is Yu-Gi-Oh. If I hop on Yu-Gi-Oh, I get, you know, many more viewers than when I do Smite or Apex or anything like that, because it's just such a niche game. You hop on and you're like, oh, someone's actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Holy shit.
Yeah,
I'm the
it's
only
always
name
like
there.
someone's actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because like with Smite and shit, people usually only really watch their own established people they already watch.
Yeah, for
It's hard
sure.
to break into like an already booming market. You
Yeah.
gotta, you gotta get like the niche people first, and then get
Yeah.
enough of them where they'll like you enough to watch anything.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
me,
Like you,
somehow.
somehow. And a few others. But I digress. Other than that, I've been playing, basically the only other game I've been playing is Returnal. I'm actually not sure. Did I talk about this last stream? I don't think I did. I don't think it was out. Whatever. It's a fantastic game. If I did talk about it, go listen to it there, or just stay, because I'm going to talk about it again. It's a fantastic game. It is a lot of fun. It is Housemark.
I think you did talk about it before because I remember like it just came out last time we did the podcast, and you're talking about how you kept getting stuck because like not the one shit wouldn't like open up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, that bug has been fixed, and apparently, I was what I thought was happening isn't the case. It was the weirdest case of that that could be. It wasn't like the game was crashing and it just wasn't recognizing I was there. It was actually a bug and a glitch if you were using one of the other two suits. Like the game, you start off in like the white suit or whatever, but when you start in the beginning, there's a ship and you can pick like yellow and black or black and yellow. Like so, it's basically straight up white with a little bit of black as the standard skin, and then a mostly yellow skin with some black details, and then a mostly black skin with yellow details. If you picked either of those other two alternate colors, for whatever reason, something in the code crashed when you went into certain room types, and it would just read that you weren't in the room anymore. I don't know. It's super fucking weird and niche type of glitch that I can't be mad at them for. Like maybe it really didn't pop up when they were playtesting because no one gave a shit about testing the other skins, thinking, hey, this skin is breaking the game. Like, I don't know. But they fixed it literally the next day. Now that you say that, the next day they released a patch that fixed that bug. And ever since then, it's just been smooth sailing and a lot of fun. It's a everything I say still stands true, and even more so. Since then, I got stuck for like 3 days on the technical fifth biome. Go through three for the main part of the game later on, and then there's another three that you eventually unlock. I got stuck on that for like 3, 4 days, maybe a bit longer. Got super pissed, kept trying. And then, of course, I was like, I'm going to do a random, just the kids are in bed, let me do a run before stream just to see where I can get. And it ended up being the run I beat the game on stream. Like I was like, I'll probably die in like 2 minutes. Don't worry, I'll be right there for Smite. And you and Jim were literally waiting another hour and a half for me to beat that one run. But I beat the game, and I very much love it. I'm still playing it because it is a roguelike. There's still many more things for me to unlock, more items. Pretty sure I've unlocked all the guns. Um,
I mean, I still play Binding of Isaac on my fucking 100% repentance save now, just doing like random runs because
yeah,
there's still
it's
a
fun.
lot of like I might have gotten every item, but there's still a lot of item synergies I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Like there's like over like fucking 600 different items, and there's a bunch of shit I haven't seen work together. So
yeah, it's a hell of a game. Roguelikes are a lot of fun, and Returnal at this moment is definitely my favorite. More so than Enter the Gungeon and more so than Wizard of Legend. I hear comparisons a lot to Hades, just in fun factor and the fact that it's also a roguelike with a quote unquote real story. Um, but I have yet to play Hades because I
I'm
don't
still
want to play it on my
salty that
Switch.
all the roguelikes that came out in fucking 2020 Hades fucking picked up and not one step from Eden.
Yeah, without you, I would have never even heard of One Step of Eden, so that's even crazier. But Hades is also like my perfect aesthetic. Greek mythology is one of my favorite things. It's killing me to not play the game. It's just I don't want to play that type of game on my Switch, and I don't play things on my computer. Just it's too old, and I just don't want to dump any more money into it at this time.
I think
So
it could probably run like a fucking roguelike.
Hades
I don't
looks
know about
pretty.
Hades. I haven't played Hades.
I mean, honestly, if the Switch can run Hades, my PC can run Hades, but I rather just wait for the PlayStation 5 version. I guarantee it was like a 6 month deal. Maybe I'm really hoping it's a 6 month deal and not a
I'm
year
not playing
deal.
Hades out of principle because I'm still fucking salty. I'll get it eventually.
So that was a good basically segue into what we were trying to discuss before the
Wait, real quick.
podcast.
Hades is on my Steam wish list if someone wants to gift it to me.
But you just said you weren't going to play it unless it was gifted. I like your thinking.
I'll take free shit. I'll throw away all my morals for free shit.
Hey, fucking who wouldn't? But no, good segue into the two topics. Since we were gone for 2 weeks, we thought we'd give you two topics, but it really kind of rolls into one. And it's the state of roguelikes. And oh my god, I'm sorry. You have to forgive me. I have literally been up for over 36 hours. I've been up for a long time. My apologies. And story versus gameplay, and where we lie on both of them and roll into one because that's a lot of talk about most roguelikes is most of them are a lot of fun, but their story is shit, and the ones that do have story are shit, even though I don't even think anyone ever says that about roguelikes. It's either the story's not really there, but it's fun as shit, or in my opinion and from the things I hear in the circles I run in on the internet and YouTube and the people I talk to, is at this exact moment, as far as I'm aware, Hades and Returnal are the only ones with real stories. Like Binding of Isaac obviously has, like all games have a touch of story.
Well, I wouldn't consider it story. I consider games like Binding of Isaac and Dark Souls. I consider them having lore, not story.
See, yeah, that's what I would get.
Though
Whereas,
some Dark Souls people would be more mad at me with that, but like, I consider story something that's like just like out there, like in the game itself, while like lore is just something you're figuring out while playing and just stuff in the background.
yeah,
And Dark Souls and Biomancer are a lot more lore than main story.
oh for sure, I definitely agree with that one. But I, I really don't know. It is so hard to say. I really think it comes to a game to game basis of what you'll accept because as much as gameplay is king, if it's a really bad story, I don't really want to play it. But then now thinking about it, but if the gameplay itself is actually phenomenal, I might tolerate a terrible ass story just to play it. So, I mean, I guess.
This hurts. I'm trying to let you talk because I want to make Last of Us Part 2 joke.
Last of Us Part 2 joke about what? It's the perfect balance of both. That game has a fantastic story, and it's probably one of the best feeling
I'm trying to get the outside viewer points. Everyone who hates on points.
They can have it, but even if they absolutely hate the story, if you sit here and tell me that the gameplay is like shit, you're just outright lying, or you haven't played it for the most part, which is most of the people. Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the story aspect because, as I mentioned earlier with Tyranny, if it wasn't for the story, I probably wouldn't be playing it gameplay wise because it's just another CRPG. But the story is what's keeping me invested and engaged. But the reason I also thought about the topic is, on the other hand, is I've just played so much Binding of Isaac when it doesn't really have a story that has kept me engaged. So I guess it's like you
Sure.
can have an amazing story or like amazing gameplay, and you won't really need to rely on the other. But like, how many things have actually done both?
Very few handfuls. GTA for the time played very well, had a great story. Um, God of War 2018. Personally, me, all the
If
God
you
of Wars were good, but
if
God of War
you
2018.
fucking if you got me when GTA 5 came out, I'd be like, yeah, fucking great story, great gameplay, but going over the fucking if I just went through and played the game again, it's like, yeah, this is funny, I guess.
It was a good story. I liked it. I very much enjoyed it. Um,
I think any GTA game I wouldn't like praise their story anymore.
well, they're all so timed or dated, I should say, at this point. Like, gotta imagine they were making that game in the early 2000s or late 2000s, early 2010s, and came out in 2013. Look how far we've come just from 2013. So, I mean, a lot of those dated jokes just don't go over well or hit the wrong spot now, but it's an old game. What are you going to do? It hit for the time. That's why I said at the time. Um, for me, I want to say this while you were talking, it popped up to me. Is I also believe it depends on the type of game. Like a roguelike. A roguelike, if it's fun and plays well, doesn't really need a story. The whole point is you're just trying to run, get as far as you can before you die, and do it again. Whereas in a, a an RPG can be carried by very good story, even if the gameplay is kind of lackluster. Like, let's be honest. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Even for the time when it came out, fucking Skyrim played like shit. It was
I still
fun,
think Skyrim
sure.
plays like shit.
I still do too. That's what I'm saying. It definitely does by today's standards, and I still don't think it ran that well back then.
I thought it played like shit by then standards too, but I
Yeah.
thought the same thing about Oblivion.
Well, yeah. I They're into shit. Hopefully they fix that for their next games or whatever. So, but Oblivion was it had decent enough combat and gameplay to at least get you through to what you wanted, but the world and the lore and the story was so interesting. It's what pushed you through. Whereas in I think that's what RPGs can get away with. I don't think
So
they
like
have to be
with
perfectly fun as long as
I
it
am
has a good
going to
story.
intensely throw Skyrim under the bus. Like fucking when I first got it, like I don't fucking play that shit because I thought the story was good. I don't play that shit because I thought the gameplay was good. Skyrim's probably the one of the most shallow RPGs I have ever fucking played. The reason I put so much fucking time into it is that it's so goddamn poor. I didn't have any other fucking games to play with all my goddamn free time. The fuck am I gonna do? Fucking beat Fable 3 10 more times?
Yes. Better pace your time. I'm on that board. I enjoyed my time with Skyrim, but I don't praise it as one of the best games of all time. Like, it's not on my top 10. It's probably not even on my top 20. Maybe on my
That's one
top
of the reasons I
100.
kind of get into the fucking newer Witcher games because, like, no matter how good the fucking stories in those, I think Witcher 2 and Witcher 3 are extremely shallow RPGs. They feel like more like action adventure games.
Yeah, they mix that shit perfectly for me. I fucking loved Witcher 3. I never played 2 or 1 because I didn't own an Xbox or PC when those dropped, and I'm not going to go back and play them now after my first game was The Witcher. I just
You want
watched
to
a
know
recap.
fucking You want to know good story and fucking bad gameplay? Fucking Cyberpunk had me hooked just enough where I kept fucking playing that shit despite it not working at its fucking worst fucking points.
Hey,
I was like, I'm fucking doing all the side quests. I'm invested in these characters, sort of,
sort
just
of.
enough, just enough. Like, I, the more I feel like Cyberpunk, the more I think they deleted a bunch of shit and added. like fucking Keanu Reeves Silverhand in as the more important character, like later on. I feel like
They very well might
I
have.
the God, I don't know.
They very well might have.
I got like invested enough into it.
Yeah, Cyberpunk's another one. Uh, there's quite a few games that mix it well enough to just keep you in the door. Like,
Even now, I lost my train of thought. Keep going.
oh, I was just gonna say, because honestly, I'm gonna roll back to it. I am gonna beat it because I do enjoy it. But for me, Persona 5 Strikers is like, it is the perfect mix of a Persona game and a Muso, but in the wrong way. Like, it should be a lot more Muso and less Persona. Like, I was literally stuck for 25 minutes looking for one little clue for me to be able to go back into the metaverse and continue on in the actual dungeon and the fun part of the game, because I didn't see the little humma 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 over some dude's name or some dude randomly in a corner of this big ass outside environment that are still in the game. Like, if you're gonna make me do Persona things, make the area a bit smaller, because they don't allow you to run, like run at like breakneck speed, so you're just kind of like walking along this really large path, like Shibuya Street from Persona 5 type areas, but you can't move any quicker. And it's filled with people. This is one specific area of one specific town I'm in, and I haven't progressed that much further, but like, it's a lot more of that. It's more Persona story, which I love, but in an actual action game. Like, as I said, I spent more time reading and texting than doing the action combat. If I wanted that, I would, like, I don't need to grind. So like, you don't get that big investment of time in the combat areas that kind of break up what you're doing in Persona 5. Like, there's a lot of story in original Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, right? But in order to progress like properly, if you're really about it, you grind a little bit while you're running through the dungeons, or you go into excuse me, the oh my god, the big underground station to grind and get further in there and do mementos. It clicked in my head. Which breaks up all that. Well, I'm blazing through the Muso part. Like, at most, I think the longest I've been in there is like 25 minutes, and then spending another hour and a half of bullshit, like talking, doing
That
friend
sounds
shit.
fucking miserable.
It is. As I
Because
said,
like
it's so
when I
different.
played fucking
Go ahead.
Fire Emblem Warriors or like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, I'm not playing fucking Fire Emblem Warriors for its shitty fucking story. I just wanna fucking launch fucking hundreds of people. Though
Exactly.
I will say, I did get invested in the Age of Calamity story just because I thought Breath of the Wild story was shit. So I was just like, I wonder how they can just improve on this. And they
So,
did.
so yeah, that's my point. Story can actually hinder good gameplay, because I'm having a lot of fun running around and slashing and throwing out fucking fire and ice and all my crazy attacks and summoning fucking Arsene and throwing darkness at people and a whole bunch of blasts and being the yo-yo. The new girl's cool, but it's the story actually hinders the gameplay. And a bigger sin of that for me and my personal, actual personal, objectively, it is a beautiful game. It is one of the best games ever made, and I absolutely hate it, is Red Dead Redemption 2. Which is sad, because I absolutely love Red Dead Redemption 1. But Red Dead Redemption 1 was fun.
Red Dead Redemption 1 was a lot more fast paced.
Exactly. That's my problem. I get it. They were trying to go for that realistic, which they did. A phenomenal game. Absolutely beautiful. The physics are great. The story was fantastic. But the gameplay hindered it. So it's the reverse of Persona, I mean. Persona gameplay is fun. Story's kind of hindering. Red Dead Redemption is Reverse and A Bigger Sin. Fantastic story. Gameplay killed it for me. 1, I think it was a little too long in the tooth, but it was still a good story throughout. But God, it was so slow. It was such a trog when I literally have to ride halfway across the map to talk to a dude for 2 minutes to turn around and go back to where I just came from. Like in other games, yeah, it happens all the time. But none of the other games are as realistic. You know, even in GTA, if I have to go from one side of the map to the other, which very rarely actually happens, but if I do, I'm in a fucking car going 100 miles an hour, and fuck my car if it gets damaged, I'll just repair it or steal a new one. I'm on fucking horseback on one of the largest maps ever made with the most details. So there is literally a rock that I missed because it's so fucking tiny. Like my horse trips over and breaks its leg. Now I'm fucking running. Like, fantastic, great on you, beautiful all that jazz. But fuck me, that game took at least an extra 25 hours to beat just because it took so fucking long to get everywhere, and I hate it. I will never play that game again. I beat
I
it,
think that's
seen
the
the
reason I
credits
haven't
roll.
got like into it because it was on the Game Pass for a bit. I think I don't know if it's still on it, but like I could only like play it like 3 hours at a fucking time.
Oh my god. Oh, that just made it pop in my head. So I beat it and immediately pulled on my PS4. Said thank you for the good. Thank you for the time. I can't even say good time. Good story. Pulled it out. My wife needed me to do something, so I had to go meet her at her office. She's an accountant. She works. I went to meet her, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna sell this because I'm just over it. I don't give a fuck if they give me $5 at GameStop. I'll get anything else. A fucking PlayStation card. I don't care. So I went to put it on. I put it on the roof of the time our minivan, and my wife came out. I forgot my glass or something. She handed it to me. I gave her a kiss, and I hopped in the car and drove off. And then I got to GameStop, and I'm like, I don't know where it is. Fuck, did I leave it on top? I asked my wife to go outside. She went outside where I was parked. She didn't see it. I'm like, oh well, don't care, and went home. And this was when it was brand new. I did not. I forced myself to blaze through that game so I could get my money back from it for the most part. And I was so drained and didn't give a fuck about the game so hard that I literally just let $45 roll on down the road somewhere. Just
Well, if you saw fucking, you know what I hope happened? I hope that game flew off your fucking vehicle and hit someone in the fucking head.
I don't. That's terrible. I mean, they wouldn't be sad. Like, what the fuck?
And then it's
Oh
like,
shit,
oh
Red Dead
wow.
for free? Cool. I don't own a PS4. I have an Xbox. I can still trade it in though, but no. Uh, so I mean, on that topic, I mean, I really don't know what to say. It really comes down to the type of, obviously it's, this is with everything we're talking about. It comes down to
I
you as a
I have like a
person.
few more games I want to bring up that
Oh,
I
I do
thought we
too.
could mention, like, you know, all the games we thought did off the top of the head that we think did like balanced it perfectly.
That did balance it perfectly. You want to go through them?
Yeah, after I mentioned, because I just during your fucking Red Dead rant about the fucking selling it, like I got some stuff to pop in my head
Fucking
besides
Red
the
Dead.
disc flying and hitting someone in the face, because
Fucking.
I'm just picturing that. But
But
there's a
yes,
lot of games.
by all means.
Yeah, there's a lot of games I'll play. I've been playing a lot of the fucking fan servicey games right now, like the Senran Kagura.
I'm
The
still
story,
listening. Just give me one.
yeah, the story sucks. The fucking gameplay sucks. But the fucking so fan servicey that's fucking just hilarious to play. So I guess it's like I've been playing like some of the so bad it's good games that you don't even need either
Oh,
gameplay
there's
or
always those.
story.
Those are the guilty pleasure games. Guilty pleasure, and I have quite a
I,
few.
I'm not guilty. I
Oh, I
I
am.
have no guilt,
Oh, I do.
but I was thinking about Kiba's Trip, Undead and Dressed,
Devil May
and
Cry 2. I like it. The story is shit and it plays the worst out of all the DMCs, but I really enjoyed that game.
yeah, like Akiba's Trip, Undead and Dressed. The gameplay is fun. The story is okay,
That's just
but like I got through the story like one time. I'm not playing it again for the fucking story. I'm playing it for the ridiculous fact that I'm stripping people out of their fucking clothes and then they're evaporating in the fucking sun.
that's hilarious. Uh, let's see. Let me take a look. 'Cause I got a few. I got a few more. Oh, perfect. Another one that got me on the same tip, and it came out. If I remember, it's another one of the Red Deads. Should absolutely love this game. It is. I couldn't ask for a better one because Sucker Punch finally did it. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Story was all right, but it was a lot of Greek mythology, so it was very interesting to me. But
It took you a
holy
fucking year to beat that game.
fuck, it took forever for the grind. Like there was a crazy level spike in that game. Like, like literally like the last 10 final missions, main missions you can do. Like the last one you had to be at was like level 20 to 25, and the next story mission beat wouldn't let you start until you were at least 30, but recommended you were 35. And I'm talking like at least 15 to 20 bullshit fetch quests, go here, kill this Assassin's Creed things, missions they force you to do before you can progress in the story. That's what upset and took me so long, is that the gameplay is fun enough, but it was repetitive for as long as they
Well, that's
forced
like
me to
what
play it.
that's how I felt with all those games, like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed. This is fun enough, I guess.
Yeah,
Even back with like Assassin's Creed 2 when they started the fucking Ezio shit.
yeah.
I got so bored I'd fucking throw coins on the ground and poison guards so they'd swing their fucking weapons into the crowd of people getting coins.
That's terrible. Terrible.
It
Uh,
was fucking hilarious.
another game that is reversed. The story was mediocre at best, but was so much fun. Dying Light. The original Dying Light was fantastic, and it was just because it was a lot of fun. The story was just there. I mean, zombie apocalypse, trying to save stuff, but they mixed Mirror's Edge and fucking Dead Rise. Yeah, Dead Rising fucking perfectly. Speaking
No,
of Dead Rising,
they
holy
didn't
shit.
mix jack shit. That is just Dead Island with a better coat of paint.
And parkour. Okay,
You
they
could
mixed
parkour in Dead Island.
not like Dead Dying Light though, like not even close to that same
Shiny
speed.
coat of paint.
Whatever. Dead Island sucked. Dying Light was fun. Okay.
Dead Island was fun because it
Yeah.
sucked.
But Dead Rising, Dead, Dying Light, Dead
Dude,
Island,
I
Dead Rising.
fucking modded the fuck out of Dead Island. I fucking modded the shotgun where if you're in a fucking vehicle and shot it, you'd fucking launch you into fucking space.
That's that's terrible. But Dead Rising is another one. Stories mediocre at best. Lots of fun. Just mindless zombie killing. Um, Monster Hunter, perfect example.
I actually don't like the gameplay, and I'd like Dead Rising a lot more if I wasn't. They're gonna give you a fucking open world sandbox and then give you a time limit to get shit done. Fuck that.
That
Hate it.
Dead Rising one, but the rest of them weren't as bad.
Who gave you a time limit because you had to save your fucking shit kid?
Yeah, but it was a lot more manageable. Like it wasn't like a oh shit I'm about to actually. I never got close, and I wasn't trying like to mainline this story. But Monster Hunter stories are basically non-existent. Oh, monsters here! Go get it. Cool, but it's just so much fun, and
For a game with a non-existent story, they really don't let you skip the fucking cutscenes.
it's the same. It's literally the same fucking cutscene every time. Oh, roar, fire, lightning, or water, whatever it can spit at you. Jump back, pull out the sword, fight it. Same fucking cutscene every single time a new monster appears. It's
I will say I did like the Ebony Odogaron beating the shit out of the normal Odogaron in its cutscene. Like some of those are nice,
some of them are pretty
but
like obviously they're not all the same, and some of them were pretty cool. Like the introduction of Glavenus was cool when what's it was it Anjanath who was fucking up snake squirrel thing. There's
the fucking I
there's a few of
remember
them.
the monkey one when you see him. I think he's beating the shit out of Kieran or something.
Yeah, it'd be in the fucking the final one where oh my god, not Gigante. Who's the big bad in
Like in
World?
the main story, there's Zora Magnaros for
No,
like
no,
the big thing,
the
and then
main
it's
dragon with the big
the
fat horns.
Xeno'jiiva or what the fuck it's
No,
called.
no, no, black with the spikes and dive you. Ruiner,
The only thing that I
Nergigante.
remember, yeah,
When
you said
Nergigante.
Nergigante and then said it's not that, so
I
you
said
fucking
Gigante.
confused me.
Yeah, that's my. I
Yeah.
said Gigante. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. What the final cutscene where Nergigante or Ruiner Nergigante fucks up big spooky boy with the cripple hands for wings. When he comes through and like literally like punches its face in, that was a dope cutscene. But it still wasn't much of a story. It's just like, I'm better than you. I'm gonna beat your ass and then fly away. What? Anything else? I mean, that's it for me. Like, I think I stated my point that for me, gameplay is king for the most part outside of
I think
RPGs.
I can't think of any. Like, there's a lot of games that are good in one, good the other, but I think I want to spend the time talking about the ones that did both good now.
Perfect.
And my first one off the top of my head, I think Saints Row the Third had the perfect mix of like story and gameplay. And while like the story is not like, oh wow, it's a fucking masterpiece, is fucking that shit I'll still consider fucking hilarious. It still makes me fucking laugh.
I have
The
never played it.
fucking gameplay is really fucking fun too. Just like that open world Saints Row fucking Zane. And yeah, it fucking the Zane really jumps up from 2 to 3, but it was never really fucking grounded. And I'm happy it stopped being a GTA clone to be its own thing.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but good things about that game. I hear it's very funny and a lot of fun. I've yet to play it, and I'm not sure if I'll ever end up getting the remaster or not. But I can't disagree with you because I haven't heard anything bad about it. Like legitimately, I never heard someone comes to be like, "Oh man, you're playing Saints Row the Third? Wrong move." You know, like
I mean, you'd probably get that for Saints Row 4, but I still enjoyed that.
yeah. For me personally, it's my favorite game of all time. It's God of War. Fantastic story, and it's super duper fun to play. Barely a dull moment. Everything you do in that game basically has a purpose and serves the story in some way, giving context to this or showing you a little moment between this character and that character, getting more background on said character. It's just you're always moving forward, even when you're moving backwards and exploring side
Yeah, I like the
objectives.
part where I walked from point A to point B. I know
Uh,
I still haven't fucking played that game.
that's fine. I haven't played Saints Row. You haven't played the next game I'm going to say. I'm just going to combine them into one because for the time, Last of Us Part 1
I
and
did play that, and then I stopped playing it.
Last of Us Part 2. Stories for me are both fantastic. Last of Us Part 1's a bit dated, but I still have fun playing that game. And then Last of Us 2 is just fucking phenomenal. And that just got a PS5 patch, or it's getting a PS5 patch soon, which allows you to do 60 frames and all that jazzy jazz good
Yeah,
bullshit, and I
I
cannot
definitely
wait to
put
do it.
I definitely put like Nier Automata in there for me. Nier Replicant will probably go in there. I was thinking about DMC5, but I actually don't think I like the DMC5 story that much. It's it's gameplay like is what was carrying it for me.
See, I'm a super hardcore DMC fan, so I thought the fan service and the story itself was fantastic for
Look,
what
I'm
Devil May
not
Cry
saying
is.
Dante Michael Jackson dancing isn't the best thing ever, but I need a bit more than that.
I like the whole story and reveal that Nero is Virgil's son. Spoilers: Nero is Virgil's son for a game that came out 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Either way, and Virgil's end up being the main bad guy, and V's Virgil, and that whole. It's the same story it's always been, but
Playing
wrapped up.
DMC5, lose to Virgil, turn off game, I beat it.
Big facts. I would put DMC5 up there for me. I very much enjoyed the story, and it is probably the best action game ever made. For me, I want to quote because people like to be like, well, technically DMC3 did it better. You could iframe 6 frames faster if you use Stinger at this particular moment while the zombie man was kicking you in this particular section of the game. I don't fucking care. DMC5 is more fun. Fuck you.
Yeah, I've only beat 2 Devil May Cry games, and that's 5, and the fucking Ninja Theory one.
I have beaten every Devil May Cry ever made. 1, 2, 3,
I thought
4.
you said you haven't really played. Oh wait, because I was complaining about the 4 Special Edition. I don't think you said you didn't play
Yeah,
like the Special Edition.
I didn't go back and do the special edition because the only thing they added was to play Virgil, and at that point in my life, I didn't have the time or means to.
I wouldn't say it's
anything.
worth going back.
It it was. It's just I was in the Marine Corps at that time, and when it came out, I wasn't able to get myself to a PS3 or 4. Yeah, 3.
You know, I can't believe I was talking about fucking gameplay focused games this whole time. I didn't mention the Hitman series once.
Oh
Like
yeah,
those are all real fucking
all
fun ass
gameplay.
gameplay.
Yeah. I mean, there is a story, but no one. Let me rephrase. There are very few people who go to play Hitman for the story. It's all about throwing a
You know what?
briefcase from one side of the room, out of a building, down the side of that building, around it, back up, and hit the man on the other side of the room
You know,
that you could
you know
have just
what
shot.
really did it for me the more that I think about it? The fucking Resident Evil 7 was like out of everything I ever played was a perfect balance of like fucking horror story and gameplay. And I keep just thinking I don't want to play fucking 8 because of how less scary it is.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Speaking of horror, because I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan, and honestly, I'm not that big of a horror game fan. But another one I think, for the most part, did it perfectly was Dead Space 1 and 2. We won't talk about 3.
Which one of the Dead Spaces had the eye thingy, the eye needle thingy?
2.
Was that 2?
Yes. That was
Man,
2.
I never. I think I did beat 1 and 2. I really liked it.
Oh,
I
there.
actually played. I played that shit side by side with like Moogle, and I got so much farther than her because she's a scaredy cat. Like
That's
those
funny.
fucking games.
I,
I never finished 3, and I'm
neither did I.
probably never gonna finish 3.
Neither will I.
I thought it was bad.
It was. They, as usual, EA'd it. Oh, we have a franchise that's doing well. More action. People want the action. Give them the action. But this is a horror game. We market it as a horror game. It's selling well as a horror game. No, 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 no. Give them the action. Watch. Watch. It didn't sell well. You all suck. Move on to something else. What?
Is that? Is there like a series EA has actually elevated? So I know Dragon Age went down the pooper. Dead Space went.
Everything BioWare has touched, or I'm sorry, everything that BioWare made that EA's been like, do more, has gone to shit. Dragon Age, Mass Effect, all that.
See, I
Battlefront.
think Andromeda had potential.
It could have if they let it cook more. Apparently, the game is in a state where it isn't a fucking garbage fire, but it came out as a garbage fire and took them a year and a half to make it not a garbage fire. EA being
I
EA
I
was like,
I
no,
can't
get
say
this.
I overly enjoyed the story, like the gameplay, but the story was just so fucking bad.
I didn't play it. I seen the final not announcement trailer, the release trailer. I'm like, no, thank you. I can already just no.
Another another game that I think did gameplay and story really fucking well until the ending. If if you ignore the ending on this game, it's perfect. Was Vampire, which was especially surprising because it was made by the Life is Strange people, and you get like action, like gameplay,
Yeah, I remember
perfect
that game.
after
I've been meaning to
after
play that.
doing like walking simulators to like just be able to do a fucking action game and get that shit like perfect was really fucking nice.
Yeah, it was a surprise hit because people weren't expecting it to be.
Most people
No,
still don't fucking know it was made by the Life is Strange people too, because
yeah,
you'd never be able to fucking tell.
yeah. Like no one. I didn't know that. Like I just let's look like a cool vampire game. It was free quite a while. I think it last October. Spooky game. So it's just sitting in my library. I would like to get to that at some point. Um, More games that are You know what? I'm gonna backtrack really, really, really far to go back to gameplay is better. The gameplay is better than the story. Outriders. Outriders is so much fucking fun to play.
Before
Story's
you talk about
trash.
Outriders, I want to
But
throw
that's
you
it.
under the bus here a little bit. You want to know what game has gameplay better than the story? XCOM 2.
Yeah, probably. Except that's a lie. I'm much more interested in why the aliens are there and not why I miss a shotgun blast from 4 feet away with 98% chance of hitting and completely miss.
I've been like debating this entire time if I want to consider Fire Emblem Three Houses like perfect mix of gameplay and story.
For you, it was.
God, the gameplay is so fucking good.
It
But
is.
like, I
It
think the
is.
fact that I went through all this, I don't know. Maybe I'm being harder on the story now because I've seen it all multiple times.
When you do it like that, like, let me put it to you this way. You've played Three Houses almost the exact amount that I've played Last of Us, and Last of Us came out in 2013. Okay?
uh,
Like you played a
yeah,
lot of it within the
I did
last
like
2 years.
I've done like 9 runs.
Like even a quick one was what? Probably like 10, 15 hours. Even if you skip all the bullshit, like all like
Let's see.
sitting there pressing A forever, like
Yeah, I
it's a
think I
lot.
have like I'm closer to 400 hours and 300 hours on Three Houses. And then I was like 700 hours on Pokemon Sword, but that's obviously not getting any fucking story awards.
Yeah.
All that time I played Pokemon Sword. Imagine I could have had Persona 5 beaten.
You could have.
Maybe Persona 5 could have been funner.
Persona 5 Royal is for me. Perfect
I
amount
think
of
I could
story
beat.
and
I
gameplay.
think if I played, I think if I sat down and did Royal instead of 5, I could actually get through Royal. Because like all the things that I was annoyed about in Persona 5 that keeps me from like just finishing it was like just uh the fucking like
Alleviated. There was a lot of
yeah, the
quality of
quality of life
life.
improvements.
Yeah.
I think I could get through Royale if
Yeah.
I just sat down and did that.
If anyone ever, like I said this before prior and I'll say it again, there is if you've never played Persona 5 at all, do not play the original. Go buy Royal. I get it. If you, I'm even gonna say it like this. I don't even care. If you're right now go and buy a PS5 and get that PS library and you came from Xbox, take all the other games that you have for free, God of War, Days Gone, Ratchet, have fun with them. Don't touch it. Don't touch Persona 5. Wait for a sale because it's almost always on sale and grab Royal for $40. And honestly, if you don't feel like waiting and you have to play it because it's the PlayStation RPG, pay the $60 for Royal. You will have a better time. And that's crazy because Persona 5 original is absolutely fantastic and Persona 5 Royal is just that much better. It really
I'd
is.
still not own. Persona 5 Royale if I didn't see that it had a steelbook in my store for like the same price as just like a normal copy.
Oh man, I wish, man, I had to do it digitally. I have the steelbook for actual Persona 5, the original one. You know what? Because I don't think they get praised enough, and I'm gonna mix them all together because I think they're all equally good. I'm just gonna throw them actually as a whole studio. NetherRealm, the makers of the Injustice series and the Mortal Kombat series. For a fighting game, they are absolutely unparalleled in their stories. Like no one else even comes fucking
I like the
close.
Injustice stories. I did not like the Mortal Kombat stories.
I enjoyed the Mortal Kombat. I like them both, but
I
yeah, the
enjoyed
DC ones are
MK
better.
Aftermath.
Mm,
That story is fun because
they're
I
all
actually had
good.
characters I liked.
And even if you don't like the change from X to 11 or 9 to X or Injustice 1 to 2, however, there's all of them in their own right are still really good fighting games. They might have changed some things that you don't like, but they're still good fighting games, and all of them have great story. And
So
that's impossible to find anywhere else for
yeah,
fighting games.
Mister Dad of War here can vouch for this. Is that I hate superhero shit, and I'm always nonstop talking about how much I love the Injustice comics every time like the
It's a good one.
superhero shit is brought up.
It's good. Speaking of superheroes, Spider Man. Great story, super duper fun. And that and Miles Morales. And Spider Man 2 way back in the day. And Spider Man
This
Ultimate.
this is probably like the low hanging fruit, but I because it's just another open world game. But like Mafia 3, I think had like a really good story of
It did.
like fun gameplay.
No, I agree with you. It's the only Mafia game I ever played. I never played 1 or 2. Just
It was good.
weren't my cup of teas at the time. Or still, I enjoy gangster things, but not really my real big taste. But for whatever reason, I don't think there was anything else out, and I was like, this Mafia 3 game looks alright. I enjoyed it. The story very much so. Gameplay was pretty mediocre, but mediocre back when that game came out was still good. So I wouldn't call it a perfect
I
mix,
miss
but
Midway Mortal Kombat.
it's better. Like it is better than Red Dead Redemption 2, gameplay wise. Because it's not super fucking slow. God, I hate you, Red Dead.
Fucking I like Mafia. I'll fucking put Mafia 3 over fucking Red Dead 1 too.
I wouldn't.
I
Fuck
don't
no.
I don't fucking care.
I
Roll
would.
around in a fucking muscle car listening to classic rock. Uh fuck
You
yeah.
can't hunt the legendary Jaguar of Mexico though. Can't do that
I
in
can
Mafia
hunt
3. Get that shit out of here.
I can hunt legendary Mexicans.
No, you can't. Mexicans, Louisiana, 1960s. What's wrong with you? Um, I'm really trying to think. No, no, I can't even do it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say it. I was going to say Doom. I mean, for
Doom
Doom,
3.
like 2016 and Eternal, it's actually a fairly good story with fantastic gameplay. But if we're really going to be honest, it's your average sci-fi story with fantastic gameplay. So I wouldn't say it's a
You know what?
perfect mix.
I am fucking scratching out fucking NetherRealm Mortal Kombat's. Midway Mortal Kombat's where is that? Because you had fucking Deception.
Bad.
Like they had the games had more charm. Deception's open world is probably the most fucking had the most potential out of everything I ever played back then. And it also had Mortal Kombat Tetris and Mortal Kombat Chess.
See, those are all side objectives, which sure are fine, but we're talking about overall perfect balance. Those games played really bad. Those were bad fighting games. And the characters were bad. And the stories were bad. They just had cool little side
The
things.
only the only fucking character the only you know what the only fucking character that were shitty back then was Bo Raicho, and they still couldn't make a good Bo Raicho fucking in 10, so NetherRealm can suck my nuts.
I mean, you do know they're the same company. They just changed the name.
I thought Midway went out of business and then Warner Brothers bought the IP and gave it to NetherRealm. Like it gave it to a studio that became NetherRealm.
Well, Ed Boon, like Ed Boon was, one of the
I'm just
three
saying, I
creators.
like the old Mortal Kombat's had a lot more charm, and I wish more games did that because fucking Armageddon had the kart racing.
Yeah,
It's
that.
just stupid shit like that that added charm that I think the game at least makes the gameplay better in my eyes. But the stories were horrible in Armageddon and Deception.
Yeah, well, I'll give you the charm thing, but it doesn't boost the gameplay of it's meant to be a fighting game. Now, if it came out and it was just Mortal Kombat, Tetris, or Blockfall, we'd be talking about something different. But I definitely agree. I still think I wish too that they would still do it. Like Tekken Tag, Tekken Bowling. I fucking love that shit. You couldn't do anything special or no special. You just Tekken guys bowling. The shit was so much fun.
You know what GTA game I actually want to replay at some point? I want to re-go through GTA 4 because I think I actually really enjoyed 4. I think that probably has a story.
I
GTA
enjoyed
4
4.
isn't like the perfect time period where it doesn't feel like out of place. GTA 5 is a bit too modern where trends have passed too much. San Andreas is obviously a bit too old. I think GTA 4 is the perfect time period where it's just like normal enough.
For the most part, I can see that. I did enjoy 4 a lot.
Cousin, let's go bowling.
Fuck off, Nico. Let's see. I lied. The NetherRealm's not the only good fighting game. ArcSys, at least with Dragon Ball FighterZ, did a very good, passable Dragon Ball story, and the gameplay is absolutely fantastic.
You fucking failed at selling that shit when you started with passable story.
It's a passable Dragon Ball story. I mean, it's if they threw that arc into fucking like as a
Look,
filler, it'd be
I'm just
acceptable. I'd be
saying
like, oh, that's pretty good.
if you put Fighter Z next to in the entirety of GT, I'd take the Fighter Z story
Yeah,
for being better.
for sure. I definitely would. Oh god. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible,
Super Saiyan 4 was neat though, I'll give it that.
terrible. Mm-hmm.
That's all it had going for it.
Hey, Super Baby 2, like his design was fucking cool. There were certain things that were all right about GT. You know
I
what? Let's
really
just go
do
back.
wish
Turning Goku into Kid was just dumb. It ruined the whole fucking show. And Pan was annoying. Get that little thing
I
out of here.
really wish they fucking instead of giving the fucking Saiyans in the tournament fucking Super Saiyan 2 and 3, just give them Super Saiyan 4 and have fucking just like their alternate universe, so just give them Super Saiyan 4 and have them fucking go up and get fucking smashed by Super Saiyan fucking God Super Saiyan, where the fuck the stupid ass name is.
It's only a matter of time before Goku goes Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 2 Ultra Instinct.
Oh, don't forget he can also add Kaioken onto that.
Times 100. And apparently Vegeta's getting another form. We're going off the rails here into Dragon Ball. I love that shit. I can't wait for it to come back. Oh, it's getting a movie. Oh, we're going off the rails. Um, I'm trying to think of older games now because I keep looking up here and I'm like, yeah, but I'm trying to go like old school because I'm looking over at my other over there. I have a tower with some games in it, an old game collection, and that's where my collector's edition of excuse me, Dead Space 2 is.
Obligatory rant about Onimusha Dawn of Dreams. Okay, next game.
Obligatory. Another hack and slash for me personally, especially with the quality that they've been putting out lately. Jedi Fallen Order, I put in that category of really good story and really fun gameplay. And another game that came out that year, I know I just said old school and I'm going back 2 years, but Control for me. Story was very interesting. That Roswell, Supernatural, X Files vibe, what's around the corner, what's in the dark. Um, I very much enjoyed it.
I can't think of many like actually overall bad Star Wars games because like the old Battlefront 2, I
Good.
think that had like a good enough that had a good enough story for like gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Both Knights of the Old Republics.
Good. Uh, I mean more like recent titles, the older shit. Basically, once EA got their hands on it, like it's the first good one that they've put out. And I hear Squadrons is all right too, but that's not my cup of tea. But Battlefront one and
Uh,
two were
yeah.
bad.
Also, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy.
Yeah.
But that's like an old one again, because I'm an old ass Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Another old one because I'm an old ass Star Wars fan. Because new shit sucks.
You know what? I'm gonna roll back on what I said. I think it depends on the person, honestly, and objectively. Gameplay is king. You know why? Because I'm looking over at my collection. I have a decent collection of a lot of older things going all the way back to Nintendo at the moment. And if you sit here and think about it, yeah, there were stories, but outside of until you got like a little bit later in the Super Nintendo era, like there wasn't really a real story. It's save the princess. As Mario, you're saving the princess. As Link, you're saving the princess. Like there's not much else to it. Yeah, there was a little thing here and there, but if games weren't
Like
fun, we
you
wouldn't
have
have
games
games.
like the first the first game like story I really remember is like Perfect Dark on Nintendo 64. You'd get like you talk to the people in the hubs, you'd get like a little mission crawl information and go on, you'd get story, but I was never playing that for story. I don't think games really like actually started focusing hard on like more story based until like Xbox and PS2.
PS2, maybe the lit. No, well, that's a lie. If we want to get technical, I think the real first game to make people go, "Oh shit, this is what video games can be or are now," I should say, is the PS1. It is Metal Gear Solid 1. Let's be real. It was its first real big story based game. That I can remember. Like when I think back on my PS1 days, it's Crash, Spyro, no real story, saving dragons,
You know
collecting
what
Wampa
game had
fruits.
a fucking story for some goddamn reason? Why did they give that fucking PS1 Yu-Gi-Oh game a fucking in-depth story when all you did was smash fucking cards together to make Big Dragon and hope you don't get fucking Rageki'd, so you have to smash cards together to make Big Dragon
Oh
again?
my god, that game was so bad. But yeah, so I'm gonna say gameplay was king because if gameplay wasn't fun, we wouldn't be playing the games of story now. Like if Mario came out and it was trash and Nintendo went under right then and there,
It's not
there's
about
no PlayStation
it's just like it's not about what gameplay carried the industry to like a point. It
where
wasn't
story
really about that.
did matter.
It's just like what is just basically just what do you think's more important like now that we've come so
So
far as an
far,
industry.
yes, I would say objectively it's still that because I can play a terrible story if it's super fucking fun. If I'm playing a
I disagree because well, I don't know. If a story is that fucking bad, I can only take so much.
well, yeah, but I mean, a mediocre story with fantastic gameplay is doable. A media a fantastic story with mediocre to bad gameplay can ruin the game. Whereas in if it's a mediocre story, the combat can elevate it's the flip flop. If it's a pretty decent story and mediocre to bad gameplay, it brings the whole game down. Where the gameplay can just raise it up. A bad story can be raised up and at least played longer with good whatever you're doing in it. Whereas the reverse is reverse for me personally. So for me, gameplay is king, but obviously it's 2021. Please give me a good story on top of good gameplay for the love of God. And if you're not going to put a story in it at all, just make it fun. So that's for me. What do you guys think? I would love to
I
know in the
think
comments below.
yeah.
Do you have anything else you
I'm
want to
just
add?
gonna be different about story
Oh, that's fine. I mean,
because
we're here for.
I'm always playing like story based things. A lot of story based games I play have like pretty decent gameplay, and obviously I can play gameplay stuff like really good gameplay if they don't have a story. But I just kind of I want both,
Oh
and
yeah, I
I'll
mean,
just like enjoy.
in a
I
perfect
I
world, we'd
just
have all of
enjoy
it.
a good story,
Oh,
even if
so do
like the
I.
gameplay is like pretty bad. I can like put up with it. The problem is there's no game that's has fucking an atrocious gameplay with like an amazing story though. Like usually if
That's
they
what's hard
fail at
about it.
gameplay, they're fucking failing at the
Yeah,
story too.
that's where it makes it hard. Like there is no really good game with or with bad combat. It's usually they're both bad, and then it's a mediocre story with good gameplay that kind of rears it
Like
up. So it's hard to
there's
say.
like you can have like 5 out of 10 gameplay with like 10 out of 10 story. There's a lot of those, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
those will usually invest you where you can put up with it.
yeah. But as I said, it also really comes down to the game because depending, like, look at Telltale games, like they all run really bad, and as far as I've played them, like they're not fun. Like you're a few quick time events and choosing things, but it's literally just basically a pick your own adventure book, just you know, visually there, and you're pressing a button here and there. It's not really the
Well, that's
most
what like
compelling gameplay
it's
ever,
just like
but
all the visual novel format type of thing, like the Life is Strange games.
yeah. So
Like they're just like movable vision. I call those movable visual novels in a way, I guess.
mm-hmm.
Like Catherine Fullbody was just like oh, it was just like I didn't like fucking platforming, but like I consider platforming like fucking 0 to 10 gameplay, even though I know it's not.
Yeah.
But the story was good enough to keep me playing.
Well,
I
that's
fucking
more
hate
of a
platforming.
puzzle game anyway. It's not really a platformer as much as it's a puzzle game. I don't know. I've never actually played it. I'm just talking shit. So, hopefully next week when we come back, we'll hopefully come back and we'll have more to talk about. By then, I don't think anything comes out. I think right after that podcast will be Shin Megami Tensei for me, and then 2 weeks after that is Guilty Gear and Ratchet. So we'll have more actual topics to talk about, but at least for me on my side at the moment, I wouldn't expect too much of to for me to talk about what you've been playing. It'll more likely be the same shit of me struggling to get through battle passes and whatnot. But that's the show for now, unless you have anything else to add, Kwai.
Uh, Fucking I don't know. Uh, played Akiba's Trip Undead and Undressed because the Hellbound and Debriefed is coming out like in a few months. So
I will think about it. I have to actually. I still have yet to see gameplay of it, so I have to make sure that it's okay to put on my PlayStation and not have to worry about my children or wife coming over and being like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
uh, you won't end up on an FBI watch list, but you'll probably end up on someone's shit list.
Okay, well, maybe we won't play it, but
I wouldn't play it in front of family. I mean,
oh,
I would, but
you would. I'm not. I have impressionable children. But that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a comment, please leave it down below on what you think is superior, or if we're both wrong, or you don't give a shit about any of it, and you're just here to shoot people on Call of Duty, or I play Madden, or whatever it is. You got something to say? Let us know. You can follow me on.
also,
Oh.
also, if you have any topics you'd like to see us cover, put those down in the comments too, because
Oh,
we're
sweet,
bad at
awesome.
coming up with ideas.
Yeah, it's kind of actually we've had these two things we're talking about, like the roguelike, which better king gameplay or story. We've had those cooked since the last time we were supposed to do a podcast. It's just, as I said, life came up. So you can follow me on YouTube here at almost said Twitch. YouTube.com/dadofwar. You can put that in the search bar, or I would just put in that. I wouldn't even try War Table Podcast anymore. Like, just search for my name. It'll pop up. You can find me on at Dad of War on Twitter, and then also I usually do this live. This one is not, for I'm a bit tired and I'm not sure if I'm going to get back on stream, but people are bothering me to play, so I think I will. So you can follow me at twitch.tv/Dad of War. Well, just like you can follow him at twitch.tv/QuaiBoyGirl, just so you're all aware. All the O's of in Dad of War are zeros. It's just what you have to do sometimes. Kwai, can they follow you anywhere else yet?
So I'm really bad with like my social medias. However, once I get around to changing my YouTube name, I'm gonna actually start making videos on that,
Oh,
like
cool.
just short, like fucking video things, because I get a lot of funny moments when I'm doing like fucking roguelikes and other shit like that. I'm gonna start making like shorts or something.
Well, stay tuned for that, guys. Hopefully, soon he'll have more to tell you about on that YouTube. Just like that. As I said, I'm very sleep deprived. My son's birthday is actually for me right now. He's obviously asleep. It's today, so tomorrow for Kauai, but yada yada yada. And then parties and whatnot for the weekend. But starting next week, come hell or high water, I am finally starting my own YouTube videos outside of the podcast, starting with my Smite A to Z playthrough, and then whatever else. Maybe I'll do reviews. I'm not entirely sure at the moment what the extra is, but I'll definitely be doing the Smite since it's what I've been planning to do, and I need to get up off my ass or get down on my ass and do it, I guess. However you want to word it. But anyway, thanks for chilling with us. It's much appreciated. Hope to hear from you guys and hope to see you next week. Deuces.